All right. Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, everybody, depending on where you're from or what time you're watching this. This is a special edition of MinecraftEdu After Chat. We are running an EU version today. So for those of you guys, sorry, 1 second. I am running this on the live events page, and I need to pause that or turn that down. Otherwise, everybody's going to be able to hear it. So anyway, yes, as I was saying, this is a special EU chat. We are running this at 4:30 in the afternoon Eastern Standard Time because right now it is actually 9:30 p.m. in the UK or the European Union time zones. So we wanted to run a special chat to be able to interact and engage with our European educators who have such amazing talent out there and are doing some amazing things with MinecraftEdu. So my name is Garrett Zimmer. I am one of the co-founders of MinecraftEdu Chat. We are hoping to see Mark Grundell in here as well at some point in time, but he was tied up in a meeting, so he might not be able to join us. We will see him again next week, the other co-founder. This week's chat, very quickly, we were talking about Minecraft, K12, and college and beyond. So we're talking about the topic of how do we take Minecraft, its amazing use for educational environments, beyond just the K-12 and the college environment. So we're joined here today with Joel Mills, who is a fantastic educator, works at the university level using Minecraft, very specifically at the university level, and a student of his, Calum. Calum, let us know. We'll give you a chance to introduce yourself. Please give us your last name. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what your experiences with Minecraft have been so far, and how you're using it in a post-secondary environment.
Yep. Hi, I'm Calum Corline, and I've been involved in making maps, Minecraft maps for well, for educational purposes. Really, I'm not sure how to describe it better.
It's a valid area of Minecraft use of skills. Joel, why don't you tell us a little bit about some of your work that you have done and a little bit more about yourself?
Okay, well, I work at the University of Hull as a Technology Enhanced Learning Advisor. So my role is about using technology in education, working predominantly with the teaching staff and getting them used to new technologies, pedagogies, methodologies in education. And we got involved with the chemistry department who could see the potential with Minecraft.
Joel, I think we might have lost you.
Was how they were able to
All right, so we're getting
students who could visualize.
We're getting a little bit of connectivity issues, so I'm gonna take over here. We're gonna kind of talk a little bit about that. Unless Joel, are you back now?
Yeah, I'm still here, but we might be struggling with the video on this one.
We are definitely struggling with the video, I think. So why don't you go ahead and turn the video off? We won't be able to see your wonderful face, though I think everybody has gotten an opportunity to see who you are and put a face to the name. And with the video off, let's try that again.
Okay, so is that picking up now? Nice.
Seems to be.
Yeah. Okay, well, the role of technology enhanced learning is to help educators across the university with technology, pedagogy, and educational tools to improve their teaching and learning for the students. So we reached out to the chemistry department who were interested in game-based learning and had already got some students with Minecraft experience. And the third-year students on the chemistry undergraduate program were able to visualize one of their final major projects using Minecraft. This is where Calum came in because he was one of the students who was working with Professor Lorch, and Professor Lorch had come up with the idea of Molecraft, which is using protein molecules and amino acids and visualizing them in Minecraft. And the students did all the work. They created the game, they created the environment, and they created the experience, which we then used as a teaching tool at lower levels. Calum's taken that step further, and he'll talk to you a little bit more about his project, perhaps, which is Labcraft, where they're using, well, I'll let Calum experience tell you that experience. But Calum's taken the project on a stage further, and we're now continuing that project. So we're really interested in the life cycle of one project moving through to several years of actual academic research and study. So Callum, could you tell people a little bit about Labcraft, please?
Well, Labcraft is well, we were given by Professor Lorch the task of improving Molecraft, but it already seemed like a fairly complete package on its own. So, so we decided we should go off in a slightly different direction. So we decided to get in contact with the microfluidics department because we heard someone over there, Mark Tarn, had already started messing around with Minecraft a little bit and microfluidics. And we took inspiration from some of his models and made our own versions. And that's what Labcraft was, and it's come quite a long way.
Okay, so let me bring everybody up to speed. If you're not familiar with Molecraft, this is something that I know Joel was a huge supporter in this, and the University of Hull published this for teachers to be able to download this as a resource. And what it was it gave students at younger levels in chemistry an opportunity to go into a world and explore the visualization of these amino acid chains and various chemical compositions in a very 3D immersive way. Now, one of the things that I'm very, very impressed with Molecraft, and what really impressed me about it, as you guys all know, I am a big supporter of game-based learning in a very true game-based learning sense, where you give students the opportunity to explore educational opportunities and explore learning in the format of a game, so that it really aligns to their sense of what Minecraft is when they play it at home. And I think they did a beautiful job of this to turn it into a scavenger hunt, an opportunity to meet unique characters within this game and learn all about this, the chemistry while doing it. So it's really nice to see that you're taking that and following up on it with something like Labcraft. And I to be honest, I don't know what microfluidics is or anything like that. And I'm sure that the majority of our audience might not either. But the key takeaway here is that here are university students at the university level learning advanced chemistry, taking that and using that to teach at the younger levels in a very game-based fashion. So this is, I think, a lesson that we can all take on where Minecraft has significant power and crosses these bridges. Any other thoughts on that?
Yeah, another example was where we had undergraduate archaeology students who have come to us with rudimentary archaeology knowledge, map reading and geography skills, but give them a map of a deserted medieval village from 500 years ago and tell them to translate that space and say what could have been there from their theoretical knowledge and material. And they were finding it very hard to visualize the space, the layout, the proportion of the buildings. Even when they visited the earthworks in real life, and they go to the site where the dig had been, it's just a lump of earth when they get there. And again, they find it very hard to visualize what those spaces are because they can't get far enough away from the earthwork to see the relationship. So what we did was we created, using geological data, we created accurate replica maps of the regions of deserted medieval villages, and then mapped over the top of them the earthworks from the theory, from the research journals. And in doing so, then we created an environment that students could explore. And because we put them in creative mode, they could fly up above the landscape and see the entire map from an aerial perspective. And then when they got down to the ground, because we'd mapped on a 1-to-1 scale or near as thereabouts, the students actually got an idea of how big the spaces they were in real life. So they could see that what they thought was a big building for 4 people was actually a tiny building only for 2 people. And we then asked them to visualize that and rebuild those buildings in Minecraft. So they got a chance to then use their theory of what might have been there and show us what their knowledge was from their research and what they gleaned would be the correct building materials, how it might have looked, what the purpose of the buildings were, etc. So that as a tool was a really valuable experience for archaeologists that they couldn't have got from just having paper-based theory or even site visits.
Wow, absolutely amazing. And I definitely agree. You know, the opportunity to take something that, you know, in that context, something that happened in the past and turn it into a spatial environment where you can explore it not just from a 2-dimensional standpoint, but from a 3-dimensional, certainly adds value from a critical thinking and thought process perspective. So that really did cover our Q1, which was what powerful examples have you seen from Minecraft learning beyond the K12 classroom? So are there any other examples that came up in the Twitter chat from some of our audience that really stuck out to you as being a powerful example that they had seen?
One of the things that people mention, I've seen some of the community and engagement projects. I think certainly some of the very familiar and popular ones always stand out. Tate Worlds always stands out for being innovative. It was the first of its kind, and really quite conceptual, jumping into a painting and exploring the world of art. So hats off to Dragnos and Adam Clark and others, Theo the Ape, Chooks Ape rather, who helped conceptualize that project and make it actually happen. So they did a fantastic job of actually bringing that piece of work to the community. We talked a little bit about the Block by Block project, and that's an ongoing United Nations project. So United Nations are actually going out there and engaging deprived areas with community regeneration projects, so that the children actually get a chance to redesign their deprived urban environments in Minecraft within their own improvements. So the students are actually getting a chance, or the kids are actually getting a chance to say how they would like their own world around them to look. And what an empowering tool that is, to give children a voice.
Tremendously.
And they feel like they really are part of the community. Well, they are part of the community. And
but it
we
gives
hope
them
to see
that
some of
added
those.
sense of ownership.
Yeah,
Of their
definitely.
community. And that's something that I think will follow them for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, yeah. I think some of the other examples, we've seen regeneration projects, we've seen arts in the community projects, but we've also seen some great kind of community projects with buildings and primary schools building their own schools. And again, it's a way of getting students to break the ice, to engage with their school, to take ownership of their school. There's lots of problems with vandalism at schools, and we often see kind of in the headlines, schools making the headlines for the wrong reasons. But give the kids a sense of ownership of their school, and it belongs to them, that they explore it and they know it and they own it. Then they'll take better care of it as well. It has many different levels that it can operate on.
Absolutely. I think that the sense of ownership, the sense of engagement with your own world, your own physical space that spans the virtual world, really does empower students more than any other tool that's out there. I mean, you can write a piece of paper or a paper in Microsoft Word, but there's definitely not that sense of ownership or time investment that goes into it that you'll find when a child builds a Minecraft world or rebuilds their school in a Minecraft world. So tremendous opportunities. One of the ones that I wanted to bring up was the idea, and I've seen this countless times, children learning coding. And this is, again, outside of the K-12 environment. There are tremendous resources out there. A huge number of kids and students and even older people now who have taught themselves coding and mod development all because of Minecraft. Taught themselves how to think logically with Redstone, all these different various iterations that come out of it. And now we have tools like Learn to Mod and various other programs like Hour of Code that have taken on the Minecraft paradigm. And it really does put Minecraft in this state of it's a real learning tool, but it's not a learning tool because we make it a learning tool. It's a learning tool because when children get engaged in it, they want to learn, they want to do more, they want to iterate, they want to redesign, they want to do all of these different things. And it goes right back to that sense of ownership.
Yeah, it does. And I think you can engage with the coding at so many levels, right through from Raspberry Pi and Scratch through to Python and Java programming. So, of course, it teaches the principles of programming, which can be engaged at many different levels. I think there's so much more potential with Minecraft for the open-ended kind of approach to it, to getting in under the skin of Minecraft. And we really do hope that the future of Minecraft continues with that spirit in mind, and that we can continue to get under the skin and get really into the code behind it to develop new and interesting projects, because we wouldn't have seen half of the amazing things had we not been able to code and program the actual Minecraft game itself.
Yeah, I think the mod community would definitely support you on that. Hopefully with Minecraft Education Edition, we'll start seeing opportunities as Minecraft or as Microsoft really refines the code and makes it something that is very safe, as that's one of the challenges in mod development or in mod implementation, is it's not necessarily safe from a cyber standpoint. So I hope that Microsoft will find opportunities to allow the modding and development community and students as well to really drive forward in the way. And we'll start to see some amazing new ideas and some old ideas rehashed coming out.
We'll also start to see more product coming out of Minecraft, because as the cost of 3D printing, good quality 3D printing, comes down, and I don't mean desktop printers at this stage, because we really need the cost of the particle printers to come down. We'll actually start to see real prototypes being made better in Minecraft. We'll also start to see visualizations, and so we'll complete the circle from modeling real worlds in a virtual environment, then printing them out in a real world environment again. So we'll complete the cycle of real to virtual to real again. Absolutely. I think that has real potential as well.
Certainly a cost saver in the design process. In the design and prototyping process, absolutely. Calum, what are your thoughts? Was there anything that stood out to you in terms of question one, as far as some powerful examples you've seen Minecraft used for beyond a K12 classroom or a kindergarten to 12 classroom?
A lot of interesting ones. The Brighton Museum with the Minecraft village was quite interesting. A lot of things I've not even really seen before. Coding seemed like a bit of an obvious one, because I've even heard of that, but I didn't think talk of operas also came up at some point, and just blowing my mind a little bit that it could go that depthful. But
it's interesting. There's a group that I worked with. This will kind of flip your mind a little bit. There's a group that I worked with. It was a charity group, and we ran a Minecraft 24-hour live stream charity. And I'm trying to remember the name. Mindvention? No, not Mindvention.
No, it wasn't mine.
No. I can't remember the name. For the life of me, I can't remember the name. I apologize to the producers, because it's an absolutely fantastic experience. But one of the things that came out of there is they actually, for the opening ceremony, they created an entire light show within Minecraft. They coded, they programmed, they logistically developed, and I'm talking pure light show logistics. If you've ever known a light producer who works for these massive concerts where they've got to get the strobe lights in blink with the actual sound and the music and everything like that, they actually did this and recreated this effect in Minecraft. It was mind-blowing. It was absolutely mind-blowing, the amount of skill that actually went into it. So again, Calum, some of these experiences are absolutely mind-blowing that people can come up with. So I think it really it sets us up as educators, especially, our community does focus primarily on the K-12 market, but it does bridge beyond the college market. And I think we really do need to start expanding that to the further markets. So, those are great examples being used. And if we as educators and we as supporters of Minecraft and education can really push those ideas and think of new ideas for how Minecraft can be used, then we can really start to see this transition from the stigma of game-based learning or games in education coming back full circle to no, games have a tremendous amount of value. So this does really lead us very well into Q2, which was, what do you think stops teachers from using Minecraft in classrooms, in high schools, or in college? So let's talk about that for a moment. Joel, what are your thoughts on that? Or was there anything in the community that really stuck out to you as being, this is one of the main areas of concern?
The biggest area always of concern, there's three strands. There's lack of understanding of teachers as to how it can be used. Mm-hmm. So that's probably the easiest one to get over, because we can educate, we can publicize, we can research. That's a slow burn. Convincing people Minecraft has potential. The media's doing it for us. The fact that all of the secondary schools in Northern Ireland in the UK have been brought Minecraft education as a teaching tool goes a massive long way to showing its potential. So that's the slow burn, and the easy win is convincing people it has relevance and purpose. The difficulties are the technical skills needed to set up and run a server of some description. Even with MinecraftEdu, we see posts about how it's a challenge to set it up and get it to work.
Yeah.
That issue, again, is being addressed somewhat by Minecraft Education Edition, and that was the purpose of Minecraft Education Edition, was to remove the server aspect and the hosting aspect of Minecraft. You've got a class of 20 computers all running Minecraft Education Edition. One person can host it, and everybody can join that particular world. So within that within that framework, it becomes much easier to deliver a Minecraft session in a classroom. It comes with its additional problems, and Minecraft Education Edition is in beta stage at the moment, so hopefully we'll see some refinement to it and some improved tools for classroom management and for sharing larger classes. But right now, that's where it's headed, and Microsoft are doing everything they can to try and get a tool which teachers can use really quickly and easily. The last one that we see is about time to develop, and we often see the teachers feel they have to create all of the maps. They're the ones that have to go in and build everything for the students to go in and spend 5 minutes running around, doing some exercises, and then you're spending 20 hours designing something for 5 minutes worth of use in class. What we need to change is the perception, and it was mentioned by a few people, that teachers need to let go. Put Minecraft in the hands of the learners and set them problems that they then have to solve using Minecraft. Use the game-based learning approach rather than what we call the chocolate-covered broccoli approach. It's no good going and creating loads of resources, heavy time constraints, and then putting them in front of the class and saying, today we're going to learn maths, and here's a world which you can play around in which will teach you maths. Because on the one hand, that's massively time expensive, and on the other hand, you're just teaching them the same subject material, just in a different format. What we would like to see is saying to the students, here's a problem in maths, use Minecraft to solve it. Visualize your understanding of multiplication and addition using Minecraft. So turn it back on the students, make the students produce the evidence in the game, and then you've got the students engaged, because they're the ones doing the work, not you. They're the ones showing you what they can do at their level, not you producing something that is amazing to look at, but the students go, wow, I could never create this, it's fun to run around, but hey, I'm not really that engaged. So the most successful maps tend to be ones where the students are creating the artifacts themselves, and Minecraft is just used like a pencil. Go and show us what you can do in Minecraft. And somebody even made that analogy. Think of Minecraft as a pencil, and you'll go a long way with it, and it's a much easier topic to understand then. But I think a lot of the fear is they see these amazing worlds. They see Tate worlds and go, I could never create that. Well, no, they couldn't. Most teachers could not create Tate worlds, let's be honest. They couldn't do it. But they get put off by that. Now, those maps are free to download, and there are a huge wealth of resources that you can download for free. Great starting point. But the real engagement comes when you start getting the students to actually build themselves and create themselves.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right there. There's a high level engagement, and we talked about this aspect of ownership. When students are developing those experiences in their own, there is ownership. But there is a counter argument. There is a counter argument that says, look, there are going to be those educators out there, and there are going to be those groups out there who are producing absolutely fantastic modules. If they're developed with pedagogy in mind, then it will fit into the first initial entry point for a teacher. And I think that's one of the good things that Microsoft is leaning towards doing, which is allowing this open and free community of educators to really put together their lesson plans and share their worlds, the things that they've created, the things that the students have created together. So there are two approaches there. And I think, Joel is absolutely right. If you can find a way to have the children go in and do that problem solving, you really reach them at a deeper engagement level and an ownership level, and it gives you that opportunity. And then you see things like history. I think, history is a big one that I think, by giving them an opportunity to look at what it really looked like in the past and then recreating that and talking about the differences or what they would change, those really give them an opportunity to really engage with that content. So lots of different ways. Calum, what are your thoughts on on what's holding education back from taking on the game-based learning approach or the Minecraft education approach?
I've not got a lot of experience in this, admittedly, but from a small anecdote, I was showing a few early examples from Labcraft at a science fair, and we had all ages coming by, and one woman came over, and she was with her son, about 13, and was very interested in it because the particular model was just showing like colors mixing, like red and blue sheep get injected from two different ones and then mixed to create a gradient. And she really liked the idea of using it for showing random number generations, because the sheep are always distributed slightly differently. And when she saw it, she looked at her son and said, "Why didn't you build anything like that?" It's like, I just think that a lot of them just haven't seen it implemented in a way that they can think, I can use that. That's all I can really say on it.
Great anecdote. So Q3 is Minecraft as a space for creative play, and we're talking about the impact. So, I think Q2 was very powerful because we look at the challenges that educators have. And, Katja Beauregard, who is, in my opinion, a very fantastic Minecraft educator and is doing some amazing things. So if you have an opportunity, follow her on Twitter, take a look for her. She'll be happy to share her Minecraft journey with you. But she had a comment to make on the actual YouTube live stream channel, and we're paying attention to the comments. So if you're watching this, please feel free to leave comments in here, whether or not you're watching live or post. Leave your comments. We will check on those. But she said, yes, I thought I had to build huge worlds, and I don't. And so it's really interesting. This really ties back into the idea that you're talking about. And all the research right now is pointing towards play as an educational tool, as the new paradigm of education. And so the question 3 really impacts, what impact can play have in higher level education? We think of play and we think, okay, kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2, let's let them play. Let's let them play with the little robots that move, the circles that move, all of these different toys. We don't necessarily think about it in the higher education standpoint. So what level of play, or what impact does play have? And my thought on this goes right back to having your students build along with you. It really is empowering and engaging. Calum, what are your thoughts on the impact that play can have in higher level education? For example, if you can tie it into what you're doing with Labcraft.
I think a good example is I had a friend who had a particular trouble with just visualizing molecules in 3D. So they couldn't get their hand around isomers and particular layouts. And just showing him a few, like, just getting him to play a game a little bit and just get a hang of like 3D spaces really helped him get his head around it. And you can look at the book all you want, but it's always just going to be 2D. It's hard to see exactly how it's different or how it's similar if it looks exactly the same. But when you're in 3D, you can easily say, like, that's blatantly different. And so a bit of play of just being able to interact a little more with like textbooks or that kind of stuff can go a long way.
I think also in that case, with the molecules particularly, some molecules are really easy to get as models, and they're relatively inexpensive. They only contain a few links and a few atoms. But generally, a classroom in secondary school might have one of those models, and they have to pass it around 32 to 40 kids for them to explore it. But you take a model like hemoglobin, which is very complex and big and fragile, and you can't very easily make a model of that, and it's very expensive and likely to get broken. Whereas modeling it in Minecraft and putting it in the hands of 30 learners at the same time means they can all explore it, they can all interact with it, they're not going to break it, and so they can still learn about the molecule, which goes beyond the physical resource. And they can learn about it in ways you couldn't do in the physical world. They can put themselves inside the molecule and look at it from the inside out. They can get right in between it, whereas with a physical thing, you can only look at it from what you can hold in your hands. But actually, imagine putting a tiny camera right into the middle of it and looking at it from the inside out, seeing what bonds to what. You can do that in Minecraft, which you can't do in real life.
It's such a brilliant point. Talking about the impact of play, I think we have to address, and some educators, know this. They've done their research on it. Some are, just getting the feel of play-based learning. But the theory behind play-based learning, and I talked with Matthew Farber about this extensively, and I think I had a conversation recently with a professor who deals with the future of education. And play-based learning is really about the opportunity to explore, to manipulate, and to adjust your environment in the learning process. So it's not just about play. It's not tag, hide and go seek type play. It's not necessarily even the Minecraft standard of play, which is a survival game or playing mini games. But play can also refer to the opportunity to manipulate the world around and learn through that manipulation. So I imagine it in the context of chemistry, and please, think further than chemistry. It's not just about chemistry, it's architecture, it's math, it's everything that we've been talking about. But taking that opportunity to even remove portions of that molecule and see how it looks different, be able to, look at various models of molecules beside each other and say, okay, if I remove this, what will happen? How many of these portions of the molecule, and I'm talking out my butt here because I don't know anything about chemistry. So I'm imagining that you can take, H2O and figure out and be able to separate and manipulate what is the hydrogen portions of the molecule and what is the oxygen, if that makes any sense, which it probably doesn't from a chemistry standpoint. But the point that I'm making is that this ability to manipulate is valuable not just for kids. It goes beyond in the university level, in the business level, in a production environment. This opportunity to manipulate, going back to what you were saying in terms of the future being prototyping with Minecraft, is truly a powerful opportunity for even adults to engage in playful learning.
Yeah, I think that there are possibilities here that if we put Minecraft into the hand of researchers, I know in computer science they're doing a lot of this, they are using it for rapid prototyping in other ways. There is an issue there does come a crossover point when the level of granularity that can be achieved with a 1 meter cubed block in Minecraft becomes unworkable. And that's where the criticism of Minecraft openly comes from the academic organizations, is it looks too blocky, we can't get the detail we want, and there are other modeling packages that we use which we can get the same results from, although the learning curve is steeper. But for an initial way of getting into something, exploring an algorithm, programming Minecraft to create a graphing calculator, using blocks to track movement or calculate energy burned, or exploring different paths through an environment for urban planning. Sure, it's a great way of quickly getting to grips with a subject or an idea. And testing something out. Failure is really easy in Minecraft and very acceptable.
It lends to cost effectiveness as well.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. So we talked about then Q4 was about what are the opportunities that you can see for using Minecraft in the workplace or community projects. We talked about a number of different community projects, and you've been talking about urban planning and exploration and things like that. So what are some of the opportunities that you see beyond what we've discussed already? Maybe in the workplace. I'm gonna direct you. I'm gonna guide you because I want you to talk about this. There is a project that you recently worked on with the university in project management.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to mention that one and another one. The project management one was working with the master's students on a business administration program, and they were set the task of running and planning a successful project. And they can theorize about this, they can do Gantt charts, they can do resource management, they can write essays about it, they can look at case studies of where projects have been successful or failing. But unless they've actually had the experience of running a project themselves, becoming a project manager, Some of it is academic. They haven't got the experience behind them. In Minecraft, what we did, we set them what could be the very first assessment criteria for a master's level program in Minecraft. We said to them they had to build a shelter that could house 6 people. It had to have a storage area that had to contain at least 2 chests with artifacts in them, and the building had to have a roof, 4 walls, a way of getting in and out, and could be built of whatever they wanted it to be built from. However, points would be given for aesthetics and the complexity of the materials that they used, and we created a Minecraft rubric for the aesthetics, which actually graded them based on materials, the decorative items they added, and so on and so forth. Each team was a team of 6 or 7 people, and split a leader and employees for the project, so project team workers. And they started to experience real-life issues, and issues which mapped brilliantly onto case studies. For example, one of the team wanted to build things out of clay. They wanted to make bricks, they wanted clay, and clay is a resource. So they went off hunting for it. They had 1 hour to build this very small shelter. They had 3 weeks beforehand to plan it and to work out what they were going to do. They didn't have sight of the world beforehand, so that they would come into the environment fresh, not knowing what to expect, but they did have a chance to practice their build beforehand and get used to using Minecraft. So what we were actually testing was the ability for them to use the resources and finish the project. Mm-hmm. And when they were looking for this clay was a very scarce resource. They couldn't find it, and they had to change their planning strategy. And they also had to change their design of their build. And we mapped that, right? I then used that example to start a conversation about how Apple, when they designed the iPhone 6, couldn't produce enough sapphire glass from their factory of sufficient quality and sufficient volume to put into their iPhone 6s. Now, they promoted the hell out of the iPhone 6, saying it'd have this sapphire glass in it. But at the last minute, the companies couldn't produce enough sapphire glass, the resource was too scarce, and they had to change tack. And in the end, they only put sapphire glass in the Apple Watch and not in the new iPhone 6. So that was a real-world example of how a scarcity of a resource led to a change in the actual strategic design and development of product. And the company had to adapt to accommodate that. Now, they experienced that through playing Minecraft. And the lesson they learned was a difficult one, and they lost points because of what they had to learn, and so they had to plan that, and they had to write about that and reflect on that in their essay as to what that implication would be in terms of resource. How would you manage that risk? So yeah, that's just one example of several lessons that were learned by these students through playing Minecraft in a project environment situation. And there were many lessons of people not turning up, so resource management of people. What happens when your team don't engage with the project, don't turn up, go off sick, whatever? How do you accommodate that in your project and keep your timelines and don't get project slippage? Well, they experienced exactly the same thing in real time. And the project manager had to reflect on that and write about that. What did they do about it? Had they accounted for it in their project planning? And so the whole conversation about real project management had an element of gravitas about it and a sense of reality about it. They experienced project management and didn't just write about it.
That's such a brilliant thing, and it really aligns to a lot of the discussion that happened around answer 4 or question 4. Is people were talking about using it for team building, for leadership building, for problem solving. These are all truly amazing examples where Minecraft is used, not just in the K12 classrooms. Like, I imagine that project that you created, that is something that could be equally valuable in a K12 classroom. And, while the discussion around it may not pertain to the master's level or to the production level that you're at in the university level, it is still valuable experience that students rarely get a chance to experience in real life, let alone, in a grade school environment. Callum?
Yeah, one of the things we like to talk about, and Calum can testify to this, we like to say Minecraft starts conversations. So you have the experience, you start the conversation.
Excellent. Callum, what are your thoughts on that?
That's a very, very good application of it, actually. I can't think of a better application, to be honest, even compared to what I've done. But I think for talking about chemistry a bit, it's a bit harder than just what happens if you mess around with the structures a bit, because they are more set in stone, kind of, and you can't get the subtlety. But understanding the concept is the first step to learning what it's about and getting the detail in place, if that makes sense. If you can understand the concept of mixing chemicals, the concept of concentration gets a lot easier. Right. So just getting that level of understanding initially is quite important to further learning. So if people come to university having never really developed a particular skill that wasn't important up until that point, and then they suddenly need it, it becomes a major issue.
Okay. And absolutely well connected. You know, we have the opportunity to really use these in pre-university, and then I think, you know, to iterate on your point, Calum, you know, once you're in university and you're using these higher order levels of thinking, these higher order uses for Minecraft to develop, you know, the visual, the spatial reasoning, the spatial understanding of whatever you're in. And I'm thinking it goes the same as chemistry, you know, for example, with Minecraft. To use this in the university environment prior to getting into your work is tremendously beneficial. And I'll give an anecdote. So I used to be the Board of Governors representative for a university out here. And one of our major goals, because we're an applied university, is application, application, application. If there was an opportunity that we had to put our students in touch with an industry partner and put them into that environment and have them do case studies and research within that industry partner's environment, that represented to us the best opportunity, because it gave them on-the-ground experience. It gave them foot on the ground in the shop experience that most traditional theoretical universities would not give them the opportunity to do. So again, you know, if you are a traditional theoretical university and you don't have those community partnerships developed, or that's not the application that you're looking for, Minecraft represents a perfect tool to be able to give the students that opportunity and that understanding to go with. Now, I believe we just lost Joel at a very inopportune time, because we're moving on to question 5, and I think question 5 is a really, really impactful one. So Calum, you and I are going to rock on this one. So how can the ed community promote greater use of Minecraft at the higher levels? And obviously the secondary part of that question is what impact for students. So let's explore that a little bit. Calum, was there anything that stood out in your mind in the Twitter chat, or you wanted to elaborate on how we as a community can really start to promote greater use of Minecraft as a tool for all that we know it's capable of?
I'm not really sure, to be honest. I'm new to this community. I've only really started getting into it, so I'm not quite sure the limits of it, if that makes sense. But from my experience, people just don't know that it can be used that way. So just getting it out there more and more, getting it out in public more and more will go long ways, I suppose. Get more trials in schools, and hopefully they start to adopt it.
Absolutely. And start to showcase more of what's being done in the community, what's being done, what's being learned, can certainly help with that. Joel, we've moved on to question 5 on how can the ed community promote greater use of Minecraft at higher levels. What are your thoughts on this one? Was there anything in the Twitter conversation that stood out to you?
The difficulty with using, I think the same issues that arise as we've kind of already discussed. There are technical issues. There's issues of people actually believing that it can be used, that it has relevance and significance. So I think those challenges still very much exist.
Okay. So we have to find a way. Go ahead.
No, I was just kind of saying, I think that people are very keen to explore. One person commented, I think it's the lady from the University of Brighton commented, saying that she was only aware of one person doing Minecraft in higher education in university level in the UK, and that was me. Now, I think we have other channels that we need to communicate down. In the UK here, we have things like the ALT, which is the Association for Learning Technology. We have JISC, we have CEDA. They're all higher level academic organizations that we could be pushing more about game-based learning in general through. ALT, for example, has a special interest group, which is the game-based learning educational interest groups. That I know there are a number of people out there who are highly respected professors in UK universities who are doing game-based learning, but very few of them are doing Minecraft, for example. They're doing card games. They're doing online role-playing games. They're doing board games. They're doing geocaching type games and bringing those experiences of play and creativity into the academic curriculum. But very few of them are using Minecraft, and I'm still very interested into why that might be. And I'm not sure if it's because not enough people have the technical knowledge to really get to grips with the pedagogy and control it at higher educational level, or push deeper at higher educational level. There are other barriers there, cultural and institutional barriers.
Yeah, well, I definitely see that. So I think, it's absolutely right. We really need to start somewhere. And, the place that we need to start is sharing. And I think this goes directly to Calum's point is, the more educators out there who are using it in unique and innovative and, very appropriate ways in the K12 community can really spur that push to use it in the post-secondary environments. And I think people like yourself, Joel, who are on the cutting edge of this, using it in a university environment and looking at the ideas of what you can do with it and how it's going to impact the higher order thinking and the variety of life experiences that a student will generate. That's definitely going to start it. But it's not just about using it in college. It's also about, and I want to take it one step further beyond that. We talked a lot about the community and the community opportunities that are out there. Some of the ideas that came up and some of the projects that have been ongoing are some of the work that the UN is doing, some of the work that students have done. For example, there's one in Australia, an example where kids really recreated an entire Australian national park. There are examples here closer to my home with Zoe Brannigan Pipe, whose students actually put in a Minecraft plan to redesign the entire Hamilton City waterfront. And this is a city that used to be a steel town. And the entire waterfront was just massive steel factories. And so this major redesign process, and these students were well regarded for their approach to it. So one of the things that I like to think about in terms of promoting Minecraft's use in these extra areas, which will impact at the college level, will impact at the K-12 level, is if we get our students involved in seeking out and generating ideas and pitching ideas for getting involved in community work with Minecraft, whether it be hosting a campaign to help with the local refugees in your area, or redesigning a particular portion of your city. All of these different areas really just add the research and the body of use of Minecraft to the mainstream world. And I think that's where the relevance really comes in. I think when people start to see, okay, Minecraft is not just a game that my kids are playing for hours on end, but there's actually productivity going on here and sharing those ideas, then we start to see opportunities galore and we start to see more people picking up on those opportunities. What do you think of that, Calum? Would you agree? We've lost Joel again.
Yes, I suppose. Sorry, I got a little distracted towards the end there.
No worries. So what I encourage everybody then to do, and yourself as well, Calum, I'll bring this 360 degrees right back to you, is all the work that you guys are doing in the post-secondary environment, all the work that you teachers are out there doing in your classroom environments. everybody, we really need to share those. And using the hashtag MinecraftEdu, you can share them with the vibrant community that we have on the MinecraftEdu chats. I guarantee you, I will be retweeting it. Everybody will be retweeting it. And the more unique opportunities that we find for Minecraft in education and use for Minecraft education as you journey into your Minecraft experiences, the more we share that, the better it is for everybody. My point that I was making, Joel, if you just jumped back in, is that, you know, all these different areas of impact, if we share them, they start to support each other, and it supports this large ecosystem of growth for everybody in the K12 and beyond, in community, and I think even in government there's opportunity for it, to be perfectly honest.
I think you're right. The community is its strength, and sharing resources and being open about what we do and being able to have conversations and supporting each other with what we do. I've seen a lot of conversations recently about the monetization of education, which happens around education quite often. I think we should all recognize that we are teachers in our own right, and we do a job which is working in schools, in colleges and universities. We produce resources, but teachers share. Teachers like to talk to each other about what they're doing and help each other out. So whilst on the one hand, we do get paid to do this stuff, this is what our is, this is how we work, some people make a living freelance out of this, the communities have got a sense of belonging, and we've all tried to set up a server, we've all tried to have our first night in building and died within minutes. We know about this, we've all had these experiences. So shared experiences bind the community together, and because of that, when somebody's struggling, there's always somebody who'll reach out and go, I know the problem to that, I had that problem, this is how I solved it, maybe that'll help you. So I think my advice to people is get in touch, don't be afraid, get onto the community groups. There's a Minecraft for Teachers Google group, and again, maybe we can put that the chat notes, get onto that and start reaching out to your local community. Follow the hashtags, like you say, and reach out to these educators, because there's amazing educators who are on that chat tonight.
Absolutely, and don't limit yourself to just, you know, the hardcore at the chalk face educators that are out there. There are people who, you know, like students like Calum, who are using it in very unique and vibrant ways. There are experts in the industry of Minecraft who are using it in unique and viable ways. There are people who've been using it. Reach out to them. You know, the Minecraft community, as Joel said, is a very, very closely connected community, and Minecraft developed on the back of collaboration. So I guarantee you the majority of people are going to be willing to help out. So reach out. Sorry, Joel, I cut you off. And it looks like it's been a connection issue. So what we're going to do, because... Oh, Joel, are you back?
Yeah, I'm back. Okay,
perfect. I believe I cut you off. Go ahead, and I'll let you guys make your final points, and then we'll wrap this up.
Okay, well, I think I said everything I need to say, but don't ignore the experts who are 10 years. They will teach you more about Minecraft. If you sit with them and watch them play, and they will show more about Minecraft than most adults can. So give Minecraft to the kids, watch them play, watch and learn from them.
Excellent point. Calum, any final thoughts for the audience?
I'd just like to thank everyone for this opportunity. I didn't even know this community existed, and it'll be a massive help for me in the upcoming future. It's been a great experience. Thank you.
Excellent. Well, we really do appreciate having you on the chat. I want to give a big thank you to both Joel Mills and Calum for joining us and hosting the EdChat this evening. It has been a fantastic experience. This was our first EU crossover education chat for MinecraftEdu. And we are very excited. I'm very excited at the turnout. I'm very excited with the level of collaboration and voice that was there. I'm happy that I got a chance to engage with some EU educators that I haven't spoken with regularly in a long time. It was absolutely fantastic. So I can pretty much guarantee you that we will be back. We have a plan to do so. So look for us in the near future. For those of you who are in the EU chat or EU time zone who have been missing our regular MinecraftEdu chats, which happen at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I think that represents about 12:30 or 1:30 p.m. UK time. Don't fret. This after chat that is happening right here happens all the time, and you can always access the resources and the Twitter chat archives through our partners at Participate Learn, and you'll be able to find the link to that in the description of this video. I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this amazing MinecraftEdu community, allowing me to be a part of it as well. And we hope to see you guys again next week when we're going to be discussing, I believe it's the ISTE standards for Minecraft in education. And this is a set of standards by the ISTE group. And it's absolutely fantastic because it focuses a lot on collaboration and those soft skills that students really need to develop the problem solving, the higher order thinkings. So join us next week on that. Joel, Calum, thanks once again. And we look forward to catching up with you soon.
Cheers, Garrett. Thank you indeed.
And